Just because it makes you put something. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, look at me and understand something real quick. First of all, if you're wondering why I'm here, I was supposed to be taking my son to get his wisdom teeth removed. They called and canceled his appointment. I was very upset because I had a day planned of sitting in a waiting room and sleeping and doing absolutely nothing today, and they ruined my day. So, are you eating in my class? Sitting there and eating in my class? Are you sitting there eating in my class? I don't care. Are you sitting and eating in my class? Hey, it's not your head to be open, but that's not going to stop anything. Do not eat in my classroom. Got it? All right, sweet. Okay, now, here is the deal. This actually works because, hey, it was going to be a tight fit to get the test in by next week. So here's what's happening. Today, we're going to cover the first part of China. Close your phone button.
Yeah.
Close your phone button. Close it. There you go. All right. Okay. Now, we are going to talk about China a little bit. Now, we're going to be leaving about 15 minutes with, like at, I think at 5 till, and be going down to get, go down to an assembly. They'll be calling us down. So, there's that. So we're just going to have to go quickly. But basically, we're covering the first part of China today. Monday, I'm going to let you do all the work that you're supposed to do today. And by the way, since I'm not going to be, since I am here, I'll be honest, I give you a little bit more work when I'm not here just because I don't want you getting having free time and being stupid. I don't mind you having when I'm here. But then, speaking of being stupid,
So we're doing it.
no. And that's one because we're here. This is going to take me about 10 minutes to make home. Okay, now, then someone for the soccer team as they play the district championship tonight. And then Tuesday we have we'll finish up talking about China, and then on the block day there's a video that goes with the Qin dynasty. It's on the first emperor. It actually talks about his tomb, which is insane. It's better than any of the pyramids you've ever seen or we talked about. Oh yeah. He actually had a miniature, like the landscape of all of China put in it, so you could see it in the dark. The river was made out of mercury. It's really kind of cool. Because I didn't know this mercury was in the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, it's not like you want to have to be around mercury because it's Canadian, but since he was dead, I figured. And then on that'll be on Thursday, and then on Friday. And here's the way it's going to work, because I just did an open book test with my juniors. When I do an open book test, what I do is I open it the day before. As soon as school's out, you have 24 hours to get it done and turn it back in. Does that make sense? Okay, everybody understand? So that's basically what we're looking at. All right. I just like you guys watching me over the gap. Okay. All right. Now, here's something shot up. I just want to see your eyeballs over here. Okay. All right. Now, if you want him in your peripheral, you might want to switch seats, and that way you can look at him at the same time. All right. Now, China, like every other civilization we talk about, springs up around what kind of geographic thing? Like a liver? Okay. And now, has anybody ever seen rice grow? Because you can't grow rice in the United States. You ever go to South Carolina and grow rice? What does the field look like?
It's like
It's flooded. It's like you're walking like this much water. It's literally like swampy. Yes, you will get leeches on you, but rice is a plant that needs a ton of water. Now, you guys should know that rice dries things out really quickly because if you ever drop your phone in a pool, what do? You go put it in a bag of rice, and then get your heads up, guys. I want to see eyeballs.
That's why we like
All right, now, rice is that's why it's flooding because it sucks in all that water. It is, and by the way, the rice that most people in this country eat, white rice, doesn't soak up as much water as brown rice. Brown rice soaks up a lot more water. And by the way, if you like Chinese food, if you ever get like the noodles with your food, like I love lo mein, that is not what they eat in China. The lo mein they eat is actually rice noodles, which are way better. No, it's not. We're usually we it's here. It's because it's cheaper.
rice.
What?
When you like stuff,
I can taste the difference.
it's like rice checks and wheat checks.
Which don't taste anything like.
It tastes pretty similar.
Maybe if you're a crack addict. Okay. Anyway, now here we go. Now this is the first. This is one of the first dynasties. It started small, obviously, because we're talking ancient times. Are there a lot of people? No. That was creepy. Now, the first emperor of China is a guy by the name of Qin. Put your phone away, get your earbud out. Thank you. Now, it's called Qin. So they called his people the Qin. And somehow along in English it became Chai. So it becomes the Chinese or the China. So the Qin people, the Qin dynasty becomes the Qin. And first emperor, like I said, we're not going to talk about him today because he's fascinating. We're going to spend more time on him. He's what most of your China questions are about anyway. So you have the Hanghe and the Yangtze River. Yangtze just means the Yellow River. And in between these areas, you can grow a lot of things because this is the only area really in China that you can farm because anywhere you go out between these rivers, you're either in the mountains or you're out in the desert. China is not a very good place to grow things. Put your phone away. We're going to take it away. Okay, now, and by the way, today, first of all, does everybody know China has more people than anybody else? Like, they have like 1/3 of the world's population. It's working closer to half now. There are what? 9 billion people, 4.5 of them live in China. And all of them live right here on the coast. My dad said when he was over in China, literally, you know, like, okay, well, people come and stand like this, you're telling them, like, get away from me, right? In America, we don't like people in our little box, right? There is no space box over there that many people are like right up. He says you're always being touched. Not to mention that my dad is about 6'3" built like me, so it was kind of like you could see him over. It's like seeing people around him. We were giving him a hard time because he said, if you came back from Asia and they gave you out film movies, what does that say about you? But basically, there's pictures of him out on the Great Wall of China. You see, like, all these heads, and this big white guy sticking out with them. So, yeah. But, so everybody lives over here. Like I said, only 10% of China is farmable, and rice is about the only thing they can grow. Because where you got good land, it rains a lot, and not rains a lot, it floods a lot, and rice is the only thing you're really going to get away with growing. Okay, and the unpredictable flooding is called China sorrow. Now, look at me. It does not rain a lot in China. Does anybody know where all the water comes from? Melting up in the mountains. So if it gets hot up there, all of a sudden there's some water that comes down. And there's no place for the water to go except in this one valley. So they're going to get it one way or the other. Okay. There's the Himalaya Mountains. All of the biggest mountains in in the world are in China. No, Fuji's in Japan. Uh, Everest, Mount Everest is there. K2, which actually is bigger than Mount Everest, we just figured that out because we laser measured them. Uh, these are all the mountains that if you get more than about halfway up them and you don't have oxygen, you're going to die. About 5 years ago. But nobody ever climbs it. It's in the middle part of an area that China doesn't want people going to. So, literally, if you climb up Mount Everest or K2, I haven't done it personally, but I've watched videos of it. You get up there, you climb up and go through the clouds. You see, you're literally up there, and the atmosphere is so, it's almost like you're in outer space because you're so high up in there. All right, okay. Now, Middle Kingdom, I don't know why they call them the Middle Kingdom, because all of the kingdoms down here would come around later. There's really nothing up here. You have the Mongols, but they're more nomads. They just kind of wander around. They don't have any kingdoms. Russia's nothing at this point. So, yeah, I don't know. Okay. Now, Chinese are incredibly advanced. Chinese, it's not a surprise that technology is a big thing in China nowadays because it always has been. They were the first people who got a clock to work that worked perfectly all the time. They made these water clocks, and what it would do is the water would run out here and spin a little wheel, and when all the water was done, it would go up this tube over here, and it turned out and just kept running constantly. They had clocks back before the Romans run for weeks at a time and always be right. They invent paper. They invent paper, which means they can write all their stuff down in books, which is easier to carry around with spell tablets. Like a lot of the cultures, they were really big into astrology. They even mapped a lot of stars, did a lot of things that way. Here's something different. Instead of building out of stone, they're the first people to build out of what? Wood. What kind of wood is in China? You know anything about martial arts? What do you think with sticks? Bamboo. You know anything about bamboo?
It's hard.
It's hard and flexible at the same time. Depends. If you're in an area like Japan loves building things out of bamboo because when you get these big tsunamis that come in, wipe out everything, bamboo doesn't move. Now, if Augie and I are fighting with bamboo stacks, and he comes and he gets ready to hit me, it's going to do one of two things. One, it's going to hit me, but also it gets that little extra snap. It's going to like break my head in half. So building out of it back then was great. And here's the other thing. Bamboo holds a lot of water. So what does it not do if it has water inside it? Burn. It doesn't burn very well. Bamboo never burns well. It actually like dries up inside. Have you seen the hollow shells? It actually, the inside will actually shrink up and like fall out before it catches on fire. Okay, now, China actually has a pretty controlled climate, so they're able to not have to worry about walls. If you go into some Chinese houses, they literally have paper walls just to section things off. You literally, if you're in a Chinese house, you can hear what's going on everywhere. Now, by the way, how many of you like your family? How many of you can't stand like your cousins and stuff? You would hate it in China because, let's say, Augie here is great grandpa. His kids are going to live there, which would be your grandma and grandpa. Their kids are going to live there. Their kids are going to live there. You would have anywhere from 4 to 5 generations living in the house. And the older you are, the better your life. If you're the oldest male or the oldest female, you get to boss everybody around. It's not till they die. Now, even if Augie, like say, one of Augie's sons is really rich, instead of going and buying his own house, he'll probably stay with his family because if they have a business, won't they all work together? Very rarely, unless the family's got really, really big. My dad said his buddy that he went to visit in China, that their family got too big to live in one house. They literally own like 4 houses in a minute. Yeah, yeah. Well, actually, it's not probably more because China's population is so big. China actually pays their citizens not to have kids anymore. Yes. Hello. Hmm. I will send him. The nurse would like to see you, Gabe. She wants to talk to you about mental health. Or lack of. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, okay. This is also important. There's two questions on your test about this to look up here. They got the same structure that most everybody does, but we have kings and emperors. Look at me. You have little kingdoms, but big empire. And the king, the emperor let the king stay, and all of this stuff's pretty much the same. Of course, you got the slaves down here, the workers. Now, the soldiers in China, remember how in India they were up here? They were important. Down here, they're basically slaves and workers. Yeah, if you owe people money, you're going to the army. Rich people could, if rich people were supposed to serve, how many of you ever seen the movie Mulan? Okay, remember, each family had to donate somebody. If you were rich and had slaves, you would say, okay, you're going for us. That's who we're sending. Uh, okay. Um, noble, being smart, being the scholars is actually more important than being rich. And in government, knowledge was always more important than uh, than money. Okay, let me do this real quick. Do, okay, now, okay. All right, here's a terrifying thought. Mirza's our emperor. Now, here's Mirza. That's actual size. Okay, Mirza is our emperor. Now, they have, not a prophecy, but kind of a saying about a ruler. You have the mandate of heaven or you don't have the mandate of heaven. And here's the philosophy behind it. Let's say Mirza is a good emperor and he rules his people and they're happy. Mirza gets to stay emperor. However, if he's a bad emperor, starts being a bad emperor, and people start to get sad, he may start to lose, they'll get angry, and they'll get to the point where crying, okay. They'll rise up, they'll kill him, and get rid of him, and get a new. Basically, what this is kind of, okay, you guys have all seen Lion King Circle of Life, right? It's basically the circle of governments because that's why they have dynasties. You have a family that rules for a certain amount of time, they do a good job, everybody loves them. But once they start to oppress their people, you rise up, kill them, get a new one, and start all over again. Does that make sense? It was, your family got to rule and be a dynasty. Your family rules for a while until, and that's why next time you have the next dynasty, it's a totally new family that comes in and takes over. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. I don't want to save it. Okay. Cannot wait till we get ready to get
There's a hearing screen. This hearing thing.
Did you listen? Okay. All right. So that's the mandate of heaven. Now, and here's the other thing. It says the approval of the gods. Please look at me and understand this. Yes, they are mostly Buddhist. Yes, they're mostly Taoist. But this does not mean, when you think of gods in other cultures, it's not like it is in China. In China, you have like household gods. Once your grandparents die, okay, Augie was the great grandfather. When Augie dies, people are actually going to worship him in the family. They'll build a little shrine in the backyard. They'll come out, light candles. Oh, Augie, you're so awesome. Hey, Augie, well, since you're in the spirit world, can you come and take care of this? Okay? Does that make sense? Okay. All right. I just explained that, so I'm not going to go there. Okay. Now we're going to get into Confucianism. Confucianism is not a religion. It is a school of thought. These are more important. These are ethical systems, and these are more important than religion to them. How many of you ever go to a Chinese restaurant and get a little cookie that says Confucius says, whatever it was? If you don't have a Chinese restaurant, that's like the one over on Bayless does it. Actually, that's run by one of my former student families. And there's one in Sunset Hills that is really good at the chicken. If you haven't noticed, I really like Chinese. All right. But what Confucianism is, you would think it was this religious thing, but basically, it's just a bunch of common sense things. Like parents, if you raise your children right, they'll be good people. Crazy concept. Or rulers, if you treat your people with respect, they'll respect you back. If you don't punch people in the face, they won't punch you in the face. I mean, that's not really what they say, but that's basically, it's all common, and it's a lot of proverbs, like, if you want to be wise, it's good to be quiet. I know that's one of them. Give your knowledge to your children, and they will be wise. Okay. And basically, they go Taoism is saying there's a natural order to things that families go father to son, mothers pass on the wisdom to their daughters. That human beings should live simply and in harmony. And then you also have the legalism. Now, who brings this in? The emperor. Basically, these are the rules you need to follow to live in the empire. And all of this together is the classical ethical systems that basically form Chinese culture. All right. And I already did so. But basically, a ruler to subject, father to son, husband to wife, brother to brother. And by the way, brother to brother relationship is huge. Okay. Mirza and Gabe are brothers. If Mirza is the older, he gets to tell the younger brother what to do. You have to honor him. Because if he dies, then you get to take over control of the family. That doesn't mean you get to kill him. If you do that, then it goes to the next male or his son or whatever.
And I get kicked out.
Or, well, probably one of the favorite things to do back then was they would beat each other. I gotta think there's better ways to go with that, but they also like to drop people in the rivers because pregnant people weren't very good swimmers. You'd be okay at that point. Just tell me, say what my punishment would be thrown in the river just so we get I'd be like, okay. Okay. Tell them they're number one with wrong finger. Okay. All right. Now, I already talked about this, but his ancestor worship. Remember, Augie died. His whole family's going to pray to him. Here, you can't really stand, but he was just trying to a grandparent. Now, first of all, Chinese don't have graves like what we do in this country. They are people who would cremate and they keep their bodies in ashes and they put it, because in your house you will have like a wall of the people's ashes where they are.
Like it just gets knocked down. Then they all get mixed up.
You're just kind of gross.
Dude, that'd be so bad. That'd be like the worst thing.
All right. Spring cleaning goes too far and you just suck them along to do it. Okay.
Take a cap off.
Hey, little kid thinks he's being helpful and I'm going to lay oh, try those grandma. Okay. Now,
This
well, actually, no, because tobacco hadn't gotten there yet. We were the ones that tobacco wasn't discovered by the rest of the world. Tobacco was indigenous just to America, and during the time of the colonies as well.
did it smoke there now?
Oh well, they did smoke something, but not that. They smoked opium.
Oh yeah.
You know what? You know what becomes heroin?
Yeah.
So when they smoked something, they got something out of it. All kinds of crazy drinks. All right, now Again, hey, like every other culture we talked about, the ancient picture language becomes an alphabet. Now, this language is insane because there's over 535 letters in the Chinese alphabet, and they cut out like about 700 of them.
You said 500.
About 535, I think, is what it is now. But there used to be over 1,000, but they realized that people couldn't memorize all that. I mean, if you have to be able, it is the hardest language in the world to be literate in because you have to memorize so much. Yeah, like okay, people who you were looking over there.
Like this.
Yeah, full of crap. Okay. Anyway, now, yes, I'm almost done. So just hang on. But basically, it is an insane language like English. If you get the basics of the alphabet, you can read some stuff. Does that make sense? Even though all our rules, ABC, none of them work. They're all wrong. Like the A makes like five
It's like
different
that one
sounds.
like where it's like bomb and then it's
Oh yeah, English is the hardest language to learn how to speak,
not
not how to write. Because our language is actually a mutation of like 5 languages. It's German, Celtic, Norse. We have a lot of Native American words. Our language is just screwed up. Because people who come to our country to learn languages, it's like, yeah, this doesn't make sense. I actually took Russian when I was in high school. Russian is the easiest one to read because it's a phonetically perfect language. The sounds only make one sound. And if they change, they have a hard sound outside. Okay, anyway, they become this, like I said, but it's very hard to learn. Money gets standardized. This is the first people who had the idea of making coins. Now, when they used to make coins, like back in ancient Greece, they just took a hammer and a stamp. They didn't have something on the other side, so it was like this mess of pancake picture on it. They were the people who figured out if you have put it on the thing with the picture on one side and put the stamp on the other side, it makes a coin that looks like every other coin. This made it very easy for them to collect taxes because if you owed money, what you do is you take a little silk string, and that's why it has holes in it. You can put all your taxes on the string, tie it in a knot, and if you with it, just go up and put it on the scale, tax collector say you're good, and walk away. It was very easy to hold money. And if you were worried about being robbed, what you do is you have a silk belt that you put your money, your gold coins around, tie it your waist, so it's hard for people to get it off your waist. Well, they standardized the weight of the coin. In Europe, it wasn't until the Romans that had done. Okay, which actually is around the same time. Okay. Okay. Walls getting built. I'm not going to talk about. Well, yeah. Okay. By the way, somebody told me last hour you can see the Great Wall of China from space. No, you can't.
They gone.
Well, no, there was a point why still since I was a little kid. I said this. When I was a little kid, I was told that you could see from space.
Who said that?
And its thickest part is maybe twice as far from me to Augie.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever.
Yeah, you can't see. I mean, you can't see the arch from space, and that's really freaking big. What? I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus.
Was it Makai?
No, oh my God.
Geo?
I'm not going to say anything. All right, now. Okay, now. Anyway.
Away so easily.
I do know. Okay, anyway, now. What the Great Wall of China is, and this is what you need to know. Long before Genghis Khan and the Mongols, the people who lived. Whoops. Okay, the people who lived up here, well, they weren't necessarily known as the Mongols yet. They become the Mongols under Genghis Khan. It's the same people. Okay, it's the same people. They used to call them the Northern Invaders. If you know anything about the area in Mongolia, you have one of two climates. You have three. Mountains, plains, and desert. And the weather always sucks. you're either burning up or freezing to death. And so can they grow anything up there? No. So what do? They go down to China and steal all their stuff.
Smart.
So the people in China got, matter of fact, Qin, the first emperor, got so tired, he decided to build a wall. Now, please understand, the Great Wall of China was being built over thousands of years. It takes forever. There literally is, at this point, there are big just sections of wood. Now the Great Wall of China, there were, my dad said at one point when he was walking across it, there was enough room to have 2 lanes of traffic going both ways. But there are areas that are bigger, like the lower areas that are bigger. They also made a college where they could put their troops inside so they could attack, move their wagons with weapons all around. There are some parts where it looks like this is basically a little tiny wall you're walking up on. What?
It's like in the ground.
Okay, you're in the mountains, so it's pretty rocky. And if you saw that one Matt Damon movie, the dragons out there. That was such a bad movie. It was called Great Wall. It's on cable. It's horrible. Okay. Anyway, that's all I have. Okay.
When are they doing that stupid walk thing?
The stupid what thing?
Walk thing?
What wall?
I'm
Oh, that's gonna be like.
Hey, what time is Rogers?
We're all like a half hour apart. They get out like 45.
I don't Roger.
Huh? No, because we're not gonna be here for. We're gonna. About 5-10 minutes. We're gonna be outside. It's not gonna take the bank. We're gonna walk up. Now we're gonna sit there.
Stop saying that.
Well, we're going home in about 18 minutes.
Stop that.
She got your drink. Yes, dear. Say it back. Is it white one or purple?
It's both. It's like inside. You can flip it inside.
Oh, he played basketball. He played basketball.
Yeah.
That'll be fun to watch.
That's not bad.
Is it not there? Okay. Did you make it?
Yeah.
There you go. No, that's. Don't be yourself.